Next up is my guest, my special guest, Grace Lopez. Grace runs the amazing charity organization called Women for Paws that is right here, part of my heart. They provide financial support to individuals who are struggling financially due to an unexpected hardship or illness to pay for their pet's immediate needs. She's also a successful businesswoman and is the chief executive officer and founder of the proprietary consulting and recruiting agency I Manage Law Firms, LLC. Welcome, Grace, to the FayWhat show. So I finally have you in bed, and both our wives know about this.
This is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
a married woman.
And so am I.
Good.
Happily, actually.
I know, me too.
That's
what's amazing.
That's surprising.
That's amazing about being in bed together.
And I love your wife.
And I love your wife.
I
I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I
All
mean-
four of us in bed might be a good... Okay, let me not get into it. I see the road that I'm going. Jesus, FayWhat. All right. Let's talk about all things Grace Lopez. I'm so happy to have you in bed. I'm so happy to finally, I know that you have a crazy schedule, so thank you for making time to be on the FayWhat show. Your organization, Women for Paws, their reason for existing is something that like helps me breathe day and night, so it was so important to get you on the show to talk about it. So let's talk fur babies and Women for Paws, Inc., okay? Tell me more about the organization and what it does.
Well, Women for Paws, I'm passionate, as you know, as you are, about animals.
You're this close to having a ranch with all the dogs that you've got going on.
It's always been a dream of mine. As a matter of fact, when I was a child, I was raised in Cuba. I was born in Cuba. My first animal, my first pet was a pony. I kid you not.
Wow.
I had a horse as a first pet.
That's starting off
And
big,
from
Grace.
that
I had a
point-
cockroach, and you had a pony to start off with. I'm from the hood in Jersey. What do you expect?
So from that point on, my mother always said, a child should always have a pet, always, to teach responsibilities, a purpose, in life, to make sure you serve them, care for them. And that always stuck to me. But aside from that, I just love animals. I walk into a room and they come to me. Children and animals, they just come to me. Women too, but mostly animals. But anyway, so I founded Women for Paws in 2010. And the reason I founded Women for Paws was because I was a volunteer at the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation.
Yes, love you guys.
In 2009, I was the president for the South Florida chapter, and I saw how many women went through these struggles after chemotherapy. They couldn't bend down, they couldn't feed their animals, they couldn't walk their animals, they couldn't care for their animals. So I felt that if I created an organization that can provide financial support to these individuals during the time that they were going through treatment, so they wouldn't have to lose their pets to shelters or friends that said they were going to take care of them, but they really didn't.
Yeah.
And if I can provide that financial support, those pets would not end up in shelters. So that became a dream come true 10 years later. And the reason I waited 10 years is because I didn't have the time, I didn't have the resources. And
Well, you've been such a huge advocate for our community for so many years. You worked with Aqua Foundation and many other foundations before that.
Yes.
You wake up and think LGBTQ plus. Like while you're brushing your teeth, you're like, what can I do for my community today? So
I do actually.
Do you?
Yes, I really do. As a matter of fact, I am looking at a component of connecting Women for Paws with LGBTQ paw parents. And I want to do something. I definitely don't want to leave that community behind.
No, of course
just
not.
because, I'm no longer with Aqua. I want to make sure that the community knows I still am here for you, and I want to provide support. So if a lot of, we don't have children, a lot of us don't have children.
yeah.
We have
Pets.
dogs and cats and such.
And they are our family. They are
Exactly.
not a
Exactly.
pet. They're not a piece of property. At least that's not how we feel. And I know that's not how many of you feel either.
Exactly.
They are our children.
No, they're my children. As a matter of fact, that's how I met my wife. My wife is a tax lawyer, estate planning lawyer, and I needed a pet trust. And the rest is history. I still don't
what
have
is a pet trust? What is a pet trust?
Well, when you don't have family, I don't have family. And I needed my pets to be protected and my assets and my money to go to my pets in case something should happen to me.
Okay.
So a pet trust is like an estate planning for humans, but for a dog, a cat. That's why you hear in the news some
Like
of
those
these
crazy stories with the ladies.
$20 million.
that leave
I
to
don't
a
have
cat.
$20 million, but I have, means, and I
Yeah.
wanted my pets to be taken care of, so I needed a pet trust. I still don't have a pet trust, but I did
But you
marry
got
the
the
lawyer.
wife. No pet trust, but she's got a hot wife. You got to balance out, you know?
But anyway, so my pets are protected, but on a serious note, I do recommend that all those that do not have family, or even if you do have a family, that you do take care of your pets and that you protect them by making sure that they're part of your trust, of your estate planning. There is such thing, it's called pet trust, look it up. And
Yeah.
just so, to make sure, it's exactly what I'm doing with Women for Paws for protecting other people's animals, but you do it for your own animal,
No,
in case you get sick.
And it's important because, that I, Face for Family is my boarding and pet company, but we also do rescues and we're constantly rescuing pets. And during COVID, it was very difficult. But one of the things that constantly happened was just, like you said, was someone passing away and then the pet had nowhere to go, and, in a lot of instances, a son or a daughter will take the pet, but in a lot of instances, the son or the daughter have no interest in the pet and the pet is left.
True.
Some people don't know how important the particular pet was to their parent. The sons and daughters who do, I've seen a lot of them keep the pets, but with the pet estate, with the pet trust, then for sure something happens to you, there's money allocated, there's a person allocated to make sure that your pet is fine for the rest of their days. That's so important to me.
Exactly, and that just happened to me about 5 months ago. There was this older lady in her 90s that passed away, and the family came to me and said, I have these two beautiful cats, and they're inside the home, and we have removed all the furniture from the home, which is the wrong thing to do after somebody passes away. Don't remove furniture, from your pets until you are able to find them a foster home first.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a very difficult, transition. So I took care of these cats. I fostered them in my own home for 6 weeks until I was able to find a rescue to take care of them. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous cats, but regardless of how they look, every pet deserves a chance.
Of course.
And you're right, when somebody dies, the first thing that family members do, especially if they don't like animals, they open the door.
Oh God,
and out they
Grace,
go.
No.
It happens all the time, every
That's
single
awful.
day. Says, oh, well, the cat escaped, or if there's people taking care of them.
Or they don't think about pets like we do. They think of them as a piece of property that you just picked up.
So
awful.
that's why I feel where Women for Paws comes into play is that if you give people the money, there's a completely different outlook on taking care of those animals for someone else.
Completely. And, I have to tell you that, as you know my journey with breast cancer, that I just celebrated a year cancer-free. I've got to say that yes, I was in much better circumstances than many people that go through cancer, and I don't take that lightly. I thank God every freaking day for that. But I also got through it a little easier with my pets. I can't imagine going through that time after getting a double mastectomy or after going through chemo, after going through radiation, that you're exhausted and tired and fatigued and you're losing your hair and you don't want to eat and you feel gross. I can't imagine going through any of that without having my pet
That's exactly
next to me. And those Women for Paws, those women that you're helping won't have to.
That's right.
I'm getting chills and I don't want to cry because I could imagine somebody saying, okay, I gotta take my dog to the shelter because I won't be able to walk him, because I won't be able to feed him, because my insurance has a horrible co-payment on my chemo and I don't have money to feed my dogs
That's
now.
right. That's right.
And now you come in and save the day.
Yes, and what's amazing is that there's no other organization in the United States that does this.
Why?
I don't know, and I hope it's not going to be the last, but I did a lot of research on this, and I'm like, why aren't there more organizations dedicated to helping individuals, right? It's not a rescue, it's not a shelter, we're not a rescue, we're not a shelter. We provide financial support, we write the check, we do fundraising to write the check for these individuals to take care of pets. So for me, my treatment, you mentioned something very dear to my heart, breast cancer. I'm not a survivor, but I'm a huge advocate.
Yes,
I served on the Susan G. Komen for 9.5 years, and I advocate for women with breast cancer, and I will for my entire life. But I can tell you that if I had something very wrong with me, part of my treatment will be my dog. that would be part of me feeling my puppies and my dogs and that morning lick and kiss and whatever they do with me because I'm their slaves. I call myself a nanny sometimes. That's my treatment. And for these individuals to wake up after treatment and not be able to see or feel their pet breaks my heart.
Yes, it really does. I mean, dogs, cats, turtles, whatever it is, they really do help you. They're therapy. They're therapy souls. They really are, you know? Oh, and there's my phone. See, live TV.
Is that your alarm?
That's the alarm to make sure that my dogs are fed.
Okay,
You see?
good. Was that on purpose because I was here? Women for Pause because I was going to check?
Maybe because you were going to check that I made sure to take care of my dogs. Maybe because you are that anal that way.
I am. I'm a helicopter mom, by the way.
You are
I
a
am.
helicopter fur mom.
Yes, I really am. And I wear the label proudly.
I love that. Yeah, me too, though. I could see
I'm a
it.
caretaker.
I love that. I love that. You're a nurturer.
I am.
Like, de corazón. You really
Oh,
are.
everything
Like, you know,
I do.
I went to a dinner party at Grace's house once, and it was like, there was like 15 Graces. And by what I mean is that like every time you turned around, she was there. Do you want something? Do you need something? Can I get you something? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, the bathroom's over there. Have you said hi to this person? Oh, did you meet this person? I was like, wow, Grace is everywhere. Like, and I love that about you.
I love to entertain, but more importantly than entertaining, I love to welcome people into my home. But probably something you don't know, I only welcome genuine people.
I thought you were going to say you only welcome hot people. I was like, yeah.
Hot people? No, not so much. Genuine.
How do you know somebody's genuine?
I
You know,
can
because,
read 'em.
because dogs.
I can read 'em.
Dogs are asshole whisperers. Okay,
they
I'm
are.
a firm believer that dogs are. You know, like it's just one of those things where you know I take care of many dogs, and a dog will be super sweet with me, and then you know be super sweet with my friends and everywhere, and I'll take them somewhere, and they'll bite somebody, and I'm like, okay, maybe that person did something not so nice today, and the dog felt it. You know what I mean?
So it's interesting you say that. Dogs can see your soul. We can't. And beware of your dog when they kind of like back down, back up, they do something weird, they do a different sniff. It may not be an animal lover. You don't have to be an animal lover to be a good person, but that's someone I would not trust.
I love that. You know, and I trust a little less people that don't have pets. That's just me. It's just weird. And pets do look like their owners.
Yeah, mine are kind of crazy with the crazy curly hair, all messy. Yeah.
So
Finger brushed.
I love
yeah.
your hair. I love your hair crazy like that.
Thank you for reminding me that I look like my dog, because I do.
We
and
all-
I'm very proud of it.
Well, your dog is hot, and so are you. If a dog can be hot, you know what I mean. So, Grace, on your website, you have a statement that reads that you're committed to animal welfare, right? You know, what exactly does that mean to you?
I will do anything possible within means to save a pet's life. I will fundraise. Most of the time, I write my own check. Women for Paws is 100%.
501c3?
If it's a 501c3, but in addition to that, it doesn't have any operating expenses because I pay all the operating expenses out of my own pocket, out of my personal pocket, and I don't pass it through the organization. So every donation, 100% of the donations, and there are only a few donations, which I'm hoping there are a lot more in the coming months, but I fund everything. So when you give me, and thank you so much, you and Teresa, for your donations
Oh,
and
please.
support. You're amazing. But when you give a donation, it goes directly to the person in need to save that dog's life or cat's.
How many dogs do you think that you've helped thus far?
I think that I have helped. I helped rescue. I'm now partnering with Key Largo. It's called a Marvelous Pet Rescue, which there's so much need there because there's a lot more animals there. But I partner also with Miami-Dade County Animal Services to make sure. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to send some of their clients. They call people that come in to give in their pets, they call them clients. So they're trying to work with me to, after they give them, like they counsel them, like you shouldn't really give in your pet or whatever. They try to send them to me to see if I can write them a check to prolong the life of that pet a little bit longer with them, because if it's a financial need. But how many pets, how many dogs? I think that I have maybe 50.
That's beautiful.
You know, 50 since 2021.
That's beautiful. But education is key. Like you
Yes.
hit the nail right on the head. You know, there's many times that I find myself rescuing a pet and I'm mad at the person who did this. You know, how could you leave the dog outside? We live in South Florida, blah, blah, blah. And I would have to say 8 out of 10 times, Grace, the person doesn't know. The person is uneducated, did not grow up with animals, thinks of an animal that the animal could just be outside with no food or water. It's, you laugh, but it's very true. Because you've probably encountered.
I'm laughing because I'm such an animal lover that I used to go to Lincoln Road and walk in the middle of the day, on a weekend and such. And every time I would see these tiny animals, or big animals, big dogs or whatever, and they would go like this, their paws would be like this.
'Cause it's hot.
And so I would go like this to the pet owner and say, excuse me, and I would normally be in sandals. I would take my foot off my sandal. I said, can you touch how hot this is? Your dog cannot be walking in the sun for this long. You have to be mindful of your dog's needs. They would look at me, I'm surprised they didn't, punch me or something. I don't care. When it comes to animals,
You'll do whatever.
I will do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in your face. If you mistreat an animal, I'm going to be in your face, and I will turn you in. I don't care who you are. And I became an advocate. It was all about the welfare. It was always about the animal.
But the education is key, though,
Yes.
Grace, because there are some people that you would have
Yes.
said, okay, yeah, the floor is hot, and they wouldn't have even thought that the floor would be hot,
And I still do that.
And you still do that. And they're like, this crazy Latina lady came up to me on South Beach and told me that my dog's paws were going to be burning,
To
you
feel
know?
the sidewalk. Feel the sidewalk. I was like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, I do that.
I love that. No, but listen, it's South Florida. It gets really, really hot inside a car. I broke somebody's window once. I'm not ashamed to say it.
See?
Listen, I waited.
These are the board members that I'm looking for. People that are not shy about protecting animals.
It's all about the welfare of the children. I mean, and the children, the fur children. I mean, my babies are my kids. They really are. Last year you had an awesome event where you were blessing the pets, right?
Yeah, so it was called A Blessing of the Animals. It's St. Francis Blessing of the Animals, and it was
So St. Francis is the saint with all the dogs.
all the dogs and the birds and everything, every surrounding. So I consider myself like the Miss St. Francis of the animals. But we were fortunate enough that Father Tim Carr invited us to All Souls Church in Miami Beach, and the whole ceremony, the whole day, as a matter of fact, I invited our mayor, Daniela Levine Cava. She came with the Miami-Dade County, the bus for adoptions. It was such I get chills still. It was such a marvelous event. And it was the first of a kind. They had never had this. So everybody brought their animals, their birds. There were people there with birds. They were able to come into church, sit in the pews, hear the whole thing, and it was all about the blessing
With
of the
their
animals.
pet.
With their pets.
Like, when do you get to do that?
No,
when do you get to
it
take
was
your
amazing.
pet to church? Like, you don't
So,
get to do that. That's awesome.
I'm hoping that we can do that again this year.
Awesome.
And I also did a neighborhood Belmead doggy parade. It's a Halloween doggy parade, so everybody dresses up their Halloween, for costumes, and they have prizes. And we also signed up Tito's for dog lovers.
Tito's vodka.
Tito's.
Yes, Tito's vodka. That's the best vodka. I don't drink, but when I used to drink, I used to love Tito's. And I loved even more their story and their backing, that they're
The
homegrown, and the founders and all of them love dogs. They have dogs in their offices and everything.
Yes, as a matter of fact, they just celebrated their 25th anniversary, and you see all the dogs in the anniversary announcement.
Oh.
Tons of them. So, we were very fortunate to have their support, so we created, a fundraiser, and we were very successful.
Awesome.
And I plan to do a lot more.
That was my next question. So we'll be looking out for events this year for
Yes.
sure. How can someone donate to Women for Paws?
So you can go to womenforpaws.org/donate. And you
Perfect.
can make a donation. It will go directly to us. 100% of donations will go directly to individuals that need financial support for their animals. We were also blessed last year with Give Miami Day. The Miami Foundation granted Women for Paws the Give Miami Day, so we were able to raise $7,000.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and there were beautiful people in that organization that love animals, anonymously, they donated, and every little bit helps. Sometimes these medical treatments are a lot of money.
And for a long time sometimes.
I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative so I can have greater impact, but my goal is to have really meaningful donations.
I love that.
Someday, so.
I love that. Whatever we can do to help, please let me
Thank
know.
you.
Please make sure that you go and follow Women for Paws, womenforpaws.org.
.org.
.org. Okay, womenforpause.org. Make a donation. Also, think about what Grace said about, if something happens to you, leaving somebody in charge of your fur baby and making sure that they live out their last years well and good. And, donate to causes that are true to your heart. I mean, this is something that, God, I breathe in and out every single day. And a lot of you dog lovers, I hear from you all the time saying that you love your pets as much as I do. So make sure that you support Women for Paws and that organization. Those are the kinds of organizations that we need to be behind. And, no one's gayer than you. So I know that you're going to figure out a way to incorporate the gay into it because,
I've only been gay since I was 8. And that's a long time ago.
I'm not going to tell you her age, but.
No age.
But
I'm ageless.
She's 18.
I'm
She's been
39.
gay for 10 years. Thank you for being on the FayWhat Show, Mama. We will have you back in bed soon.
Thank
yes?
you, Faye. Absolutely.
All right.
Only with you, though.
All right.
In bed with Faye.
I'm on your list. You can tell I'm okay. You can tell your wife that it's okay.
Absolutely.
That it's just
You're
me.
actually the first woman that I've been in bed with since I got married. Wow. What a surprise.
Thank you, Gracie. All right, guys. Thank you for being with us on the FayWhat Show. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for being in bed with me. I won't tell your wife. You don't tell mine. So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat Show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ+ media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat Show.